episode 3.
Woo woo.
Coming at you. Not live, but here we are.
And this is
Let's Talk Melanin.
All right, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's always
It's been a while since we've been together.
I know.
Y'all
They're busy.
Everybody loved me today, so I was feeling
She gone.
I haven't seen her since I got back from LA, and that was in May.
Really? It was out in May.
Yeah.
But she being dramatic in May was just a week ago. So
Yeah, well,
But it was more dramatic.
It really was like 3 weeks if y'all think about it.
I can't believe it's June already.
Yeah, it's June.
I can't believe it's June already. So I was in Florida for the weekend.
Yes.
My friend got married. Congratulations, Joanna and Chase.
Congratulations.
But it was crazy because while I'm over here in Florida, I hear about the shooting at the courthouse.
Girl, I was in DC when it happened.
Nobody checked on me, so I hope that it's because they didn't care.
Yo, all my
I hope
family
it
was like,
wasn't because they didn't care and because they knew I was in Florida.
No, everybody was checking on me. I'm like, little do y'all know, I'm not even down there.
Right.
Everybody was checking on me. I'm like, I live in Chesapeake.
And I'm like, I live in Virginia Beach, but that's always on the other side. But
It's still nice for people to check.
Because we could have been there. We could have had a speeding ticket and been there.
I was definitely there doing some papers. So,
right, and that's the first thing I was like, what courthouse? Because you know I got married in the courthouse. I'm like, we could have got, but it wasn't that.
That was so long ago.
It wasn't that one. So I didn't know which one it was. I was just like,
Yeah, I've never been there either, but it was still very sad, and we just want to have a moment of silence for the victims who got killed.
all right. I think it was 12 deaths in total.
Yeah, 12.
12 deaths.
They
12
said when he
including
shot
sure.
people, he was saying, have a good day.
no freaking one.
Yeah.
So my boyfriend's mom was at the hair salon, and a woman was there. She worked there, and she left right before it happened.
And then my granddad cousin is like this older, really sweet lady. And she was telling us at church on Sunday that she actually works in that department. She was saying that he held a gun at her, looked at her, and then turned away and shot somebody right in front of her.
Oh my god.
I think that's more traumatic than getting shot.
Exactly.
They said she get like free sessions with like a counselor and all
She
of
should.
that stuff. Like,
Everybody in that building would.
Yeah, everybody
needs
involved.
to.
I mean, the whole world knew about it. It was on World Star, so you already know.
It made CNN.
Yeah, no, it was on CNN when I came downstairs in DC. I'm like, whoa,
World
this is a
Star.
huge-
World Star, because that's the news.
That's the validation.
But us, stop playing with me. Y'all know when you see something on World Star, you like, oh shoot, the whole world knows.
Lord.
Well, our generation knows. That's what I'm saying.
I haven't watched World Star forever.
It's not the World Star, it's Instagram World Star.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Instagram World Star is not the same.
So wait, so 12 was including him?
Yeah.
Because at first they were saying 11 and 6 was injured, but
So 11 and then including
didn't
him.
include him. All because he got fired. Is that right?
No,
I
they
think it was 'cause
said
he
he
got fired,
got in
right?
trouble for his behavior. He didn't even get fired.
Yeah,
the
so
guy that
why would
wrote
he
him
be
up,
there?
the guy that wrote him up for his behavior wasn't even there that day.
Oh,
He was
dang.
And then the guy, he waited till the end of the. That's why it didn't happen in the morning. It happened in the afternoon.
Oh, so you was waiting for him to arrive.
No. He worked a regular day.
Yeah.
And then he went outside. He got it. He came back in.
He just
'Cause
got
remember
written
our friend was saying, how did he get the gun? And I don't think they rechecked him when he came back in because he just got off work.
Really? I was wondering that too, because they make you leave. And then the crazy part is, I thought about this later on when I went. I had to leave my phone in the car.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even call. Like, you can't even call for help.
Is it a big gun?
It's like a courthouse, like where you go for speeding tickets and stuff. I think it's like a building beside it, like a part of the courthouse.
Yeah, it
But
did say
it's not.
It's a municipal center.
Yeah.
That's where that's where you go for everything.
Oh.
And it's in the municipal center, and you walk in. There is metal detectors and everything. But before you can walk in, there's a sign out there that says no phones, no anything. But when I went in there, they let me use my watch. So if you got cellular data on your watch, you can go ahead.
But how big is the gun for them to be able to come through?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was confused. Like, did you bogart to come through?
Yeah.
Is it a big? I heard it was a silencer, so I don't know if that's
Oh,
means it's a big gun
No, you
or.
can put a silencer on anything.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
gun, any type of gun.
That's
Damn, I didn't know there was a silencer. That's crazy.
We really planned this.
No, seriously. Especially to kill 11 people. So how many clips did he have on him?
That's a lot going on.
Especially if it was just a handgun.
But very sad for very sad for all the families
Yeah.
and everyone who lost someone during that day. So a lot of sad stuff going on in America. A lot of sad things on here.
No, definitely a lot of sad things.
These abortion laws, though.
Oh,
these abortion
there we go.
laws.
Okay.
Abortion bans.
There we go.
It's pretty.
I just feel like at 6 weeks, like half of my friends didn't even know it. Like
you don't know. Yeah,
a lot of people don't.
I have a friend who found out at 11 weeks, and we make fun of her. We're like, "How the hell didn't you know?" She's like, "I didn't know."
Yeah.
So it's like
they have a whole series because I didn't know I was pregnant.
a whole
series because I didn't know I was
literally
pregnant.
having babies in the bathroom,
They do.
in the toilet,
People don't know
in
they
the
pregnant.
jacuzzi. I saw one episode. She literally kept getting in the jacuzzi because she thought she was having bad cramps or something like that.
I
literally had the jet on her uterus and birthed the baby.
There was an episode. This lady, she was a firefighter, so she was a straight firefighter, like doing firefighter stuff, like fighting fires. Going out, drinking, doing all this stuff, and didn't know she was pregnant the whole time.
But I have a question though. Y'all talking about a TV show, didn't know that. How they recording this stuff?
No, it's
reenactment.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
They're telling their story.
They're telling their story.
They're literally there, sitting there, telling the story, but the actors are not
reenacting
there.
it.
They're just reenacting.
But yeah,
dramatization.
Wow. And there was another episode I watched, and she went in there to the emergency room because her son was hurting real bad. They checked her. They like, no, you're dilated. And baby coming right now. Yeah,
you're having a baby.
You're having a baby like right now. So it's crazy that first of all that there's bans period because I'm a pro-choice person.
Yes,
I'm pro-choice. I'm a woman and it's my body. I feel like you should have. I feel like in society a lot of kids end up in the wrong situation. They probably wish they was aborted. Honestly, like think of people who had like. Crack babies and was sold for crack or anything like that. Like no, I'd rather you go to the clinic than put me in that kind of lifestyle. Or how many times when I'm being from Wisconsin, watching mothers on the bus stop in 20 below weather with their newborn child because they can't afford to transportation.
What about the people who got like 10 babies? What y'all gonna do?
Exactly.
What y'all gonna do?
Because majority of the time, women who seek out abortions already have children. So
or they're young.
Or they're gonna probably force them to. What's the stint thing that they have to have? What do they have to have so that they don't have kids? I guess it's a form of birth control.
Oh, IUD.
Yeah, like maybe they're gonna probably end up having to do stuff like that. But that's risky. Like you're putting women at risk just so that they don't have to go through this process of having to give up something they're not ready for.
And in some cases, people can't afford birth control all the time. I mean, abortion is expensive. I'm just thinking about in the state of Virginia, it's not a whole lot of places you can get abortion, let alone
you already got to pay for it.
Right, let alone take off.
So I recently learned, like in Wisconsin, I don't know about any other state. So up to 6 weeks, from 3 to 6 weeks, it's $550. Every other week is $100 extra.
So I think here it's up to 8. You can take the pill, and that's about like $350, $500, and then after taking the pill. The surgical one you get up to like $850, $1,500, but a lot of insurance coverages do not cover that. Right. So you're paying out of pocket. Virginia has a 24-hour hold or something like that. So if you go to the doctor, you find out you are pregnant, you have to wait 24 hours before you can get an abortion. So that's another day you have to take off work and pay that money to get the abortion, and you get the services. And that's just another stipulation to kind of like make people not do it because a lot of people don't have the flexibility to take off work or they don't have the finances to pay for it. So it's just another stipulation that you are taking away from women, which I just feel like is insane because we should have a right to our bodies. If I don't want to have any kids ever, then that's my fucking business. I should be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's like this, it's a stigma. Like a lot of men, and I learned this from like talking to a lot of men about it, they really think that it's like a whole lot of rich women or like successful women that just don't want kids. So that they're just aborting their baby. I'm like, bro, that's only like a good 2%. Like seriously, like abortions are like it's nothing you just think overnight. Like oh
definitely,
I'm pregnant, forget it. Like like
it's not like it's not a plan C, right? It's a complicated decision. You know what I mean? I don't know if you all saw how there was a hashtag like I'm the 1 in 4, and there was plenty of women sharing their stories about how they're the 1 in 4 women who have had abortions. And one story was I was on birth control. We used a condom. I still ended up pregnant. So it's like not all of these options are bulletproof, and that's why you still have the C option of getting an abortion, and even that is a complicated decision. I've had an abortion, and that was not a easy decision. I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, it was a very complicated decision. I had to map out my options, and I don't regret my abortion. I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that I had the option to do it, because who knows where I would be if I had to have that kid and when I was just not ready financially, emotionally, or anything. Like, if you're not, I always tell myself I don't want to have a kid when I'm not ready. Like, I cannot take the stresses of that, because you cannot just be like, okay, I have a kid one day and then next day you don't. Like, that's a lifelong decision that you are committing yourself to, and if you're not ready, you should not be forced to do it because a bunch of old white men and a fucking white lady feel like you shouldn't have the option to do it. It's just unfair.
And think about the kids who are born as well. Like, you know, if you're not ready for that, that energy might be put onto that child.
Oh, definitely. Especially in the womb, when you're parenting them, all of that, they're going to feel that they're unwanted. Kay had mentioned earlier that a lot of those kids end up being sexually abused, and just basically just not loved or in the right environment.
Because the energy's not there.
Because the energy's not
taking
there.
the frustration out of the job.
People that got work like 3 and 4 jobs just to take care of like 2 kids. So imagine if they have 3 and 4. And we're sexual beings. Like, everybody like, oh, just don't have sex.
Which is a ridiculous ass option. Like, are you gonna stop having sex?
I just think it's
it's
amazing to me that, first of all, men are making a decision, right? Because I love how men are like, oh, I want 10 kids, but she doesn't, because, bro, you're just sitting there. You're not.
You're holding her hand.
You're holding my hand and talk about breathe, baby.
You're sitting there, okay?
It's like you're not doing anything. But even after the child is here, like, it's so many times I witnessed that men are very capable of disconnecting from a child, because of the relationship they have with a woman.
Like,
and I have seen it so many times. Like, for once I was like seeing a friend, and she was trying to get her baby. It's crazy to me that you have to ask your baby daddy to watch your child. So you're asking the baby daddy to watch your child, and he was like, oh, I gotta work. Well, she does too, 5 days out the week. What do you think she does? You gotta make it work. So somebody has to deal with that situation, because men are very, and I'm not saying like there's some shitty mothers out here as well too. But men have more of an opportunity to disconnect from that child and keep it moving. First of all, no matter if I want to disconnect from child now, my life still stops for 9 months. For 9 months, my life is still over, and it still stops completely because I am producing this child. Your life don't stop.
And they don't make a decision.
No, never.
Because it's easy.
Yeah. And that's then again back to the disconnect. When men are making these decisions about women's bodies, it doesn't affect them. So they're not like, oh, y'all need to stop having abortions, but they're like, let's go ahead and just give out vasectomies while we're at it. Let's just go ahead and do that, because they're reversible. Right, whenever you're ready to have kids, but nobody is regulating. Just like Kamala Harris asked the Supreme Court Justice last year, what regulations are there for the male body? And there aren't any. None.
Because at the end of the day, people put it out plenty of times. I can have sex with 100 men and only get pregnant once
a year.
And a year. And you got men that can have sex with all these
100 women.
And pregnant every single woman. Who should be regulating?
Son.
Who are we stopping? Who are we stopping?
And the thing is, they're acting like these abortions, like you just pressing the button and the baby's gone. We have to go through trauma.
Right. It's emotional trauma. Women get PTSD. They get postpartum
some
depression.
Women, they experience complications after they want to have a baby.
Yeah.
Some people can't have babies again, and then now they're sitting here stuck with the regret of having an abortion from that one abortion they did have.
Yeah, and there's a lot of complications happening today as well for women.
With fertility, in general.
Fertility is very.
We were just talking about it, how like, you know, like us women now compared to like our parents and our grandparents, we wait till we're like in our career, marry or find somebody.
Right,
Right, and then we're like broke.
No, definitely broke.
That's what it is. Number one reason why nobody having kids now, we broke.
We want to make sure we're good to go. We don't want to be struggling, like point blank period. And the thing that's scary to me is that like we already passed this, and now we're going backwards. And it's men making these decisions, and therefore we're not going to be seen as equal because we're not being seen as equal right now.
Right, basically.
Shout out to Illinois right now, most progressive state right now. Illinois
what they do?
They repealed all their abortion laws.
All their abortion laws, and then they just did a law for marijuana.
Yep. So they're very progressive right now, and They repealed all their abortion laws. The late term abortion that a lot of people have is the Late Term Pregnancy Act, where they only will abort a late term pregnancy if the mother's life is in danger.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, it's a lot of dangers of being pregnant. Like, pregnancy is a risk. Period. Like, period. And I don't think people understand that.
Because for the late term pregnancy is like when you find out your child may have Down syndrome, your child may have some kind of sickness that may cause them to have multiple surgery where they probably better off not being born. Honestly,
it'll be less.
And so you decide to have a late term abortion, and a lot of states don't allow that. And so Illinois repealed that, so you can still make that decision. Because for me to say, oh, unless you're dying, I still want to have this sick child, it's very crazy for you to say that.
Right. I know one of my cousins, she told me about a girl, she's 26, and, you know, she was just out for maternity leave, and when she was having the baby, I guess she had complications, and she passed away. She was 26. Mm-hmm. And her, I guess it wasn't the baby daddy, but it was like her boyfriend at the time. He was like, you know, my heart's broken. You know, at the end of the day, I will take care of my baby. And it's like, okay, but at the end of the day, we're dying. Okay?
Yeah,
like,
having kids.
This is a risk. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're, like, at the end of the day, you're controlling people's journeys. You don't know where it's going to end up. Like, you don't know what's going to happen to us. But at the end of the day, you want to sit there and tell us what we have to do. Risk yourself to have a child that you may not even want. It's crazy.
Alabama has the ban. Georgia, Missouri is currently on hold right now. They are going to be handling their ban through the courts. And I think Louisiana is the one that's coming up next to try to do the next abortion.
It's like all these southern states. Like,
exactly.
It is because they wish they want to be back. They like to go back.
These old white
they don't like the
They're not over the Civil War yet.
Exactly. They don't like the progression in the first place.
Wait.
It's time for these people to go ahead down. Go ahead. Just once they croak,
keep the bucket.
And honestly, they making changes like this. You don't know what they're gonna do next. So y'all might as well stop while y'all ahead. Cause don't have us out here in the streets.
Exactly.
Protesting y'all.
Let's be in streets. We gotta be.
Right.
Gotta let them know.
So did you guys watch the When They See Us series?
Yes. Twice.
I watched it on Friday.
I could not watch it. So I am one of the ones who could not watch it. It was very triggering for me.
I respect people who said they.
So I couldn't get past the first half of the first episode. But last scene I let off was when the 14-year-old boy did not have his mother there, and the dude goes, "Oh, is it snowing? It must be Christmas." And I was like,
"Oh yeah," when his mom left,
because he was happy that his mother left. I was just like,
"This will be a spoiler alert," because we're about to spoil all.
Well, it's not spoiling if you. Because this happened in 1989, so it's not a really spoiler. So
yeah, but I mean, some people haven't watched it, so they don't know the story.
They don't know the story, but so it's not really a spoiler if you've been reading up on the articles or known the story before. But that part right there, I was like, nope, I can't handle it. Like, my anxiety was like on 10.
You're right.
Y'all, it was like, I started it at 12 o'clock at night. I finished at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, I watched it straight through.
On Friday, like when I got home Friday, I finished it. Y'all cried though, so I don't know if I was just emotional because it was like a lot going on in my family.
It was. I was crying too.
But I can usually watch stuff like that and be like, just be mad or angry, but I cried
because they were trying to get those. I'm not saying they were trying to get those emotions, but the way that they did it, they set it up. It was like
it was very.
You had no choice.
It was so artistically done.
Yes.
Like. So Ada, I don't know how to say her last name, but she did. She did a beautiful job directing that film. Like,
so since she did such a beautiful job, she offered grief counselors to everybody.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's because how they broke down the story and everything. Wow. And because the emotions were so deep, she offered.
And the actual guys were there, and I know they had to watch their actual footage and read all that stuff so they can reenact what they were actually feeling in that time.
That's probably why it was so crazy. Because you really felt it, like we were like.
I felt like I was there.
Yes, like when they were trying to when Corey was in the jail cell and he was just going through the motions of like, oh my god, like I'm in here by myself, nobody's visiting me, like I could have changed my decision here. That was so crazy. Like he's thinking about his sister, like all these different things, and I'm just like, Corey.
When I read his article, I found out he couldn't read. And I was just like,
oh, that was the judge.
I thought he was playing. That should have been like a trigger for them. Well, how you write this whole statement and you can't
for the jury, it was like she was like, "Is this your signature?" He was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Read it." He was like, "I can't read." And then she was like, "Were you missing from school? Did you miss all these days?" And I'm like, "You're furthermore proving the point that he cannot fucking read because he don't go to school." Like, she was furthermore validating the fact that he can't read. So obviously, if he can't read, he didn't write this statement. It was so many holes in the story, just on trial, that it should have been a hung jury.
And this is the thing, Corey only went for support.
And that's what made it worse.
He only went for support.
He was like, "Yeah, I'll go. Like, I don't want him to get in trouble."
So he stayed there the whole time. They literally got him when he was sleeping, sitting there. Like,
instead of beating him up. How you wake somebody up out their sleep? Your mom ever wake you up out your sleep instead of beating you? It's trauma. It's traumatic. Like, you say anything. Like, just stop. Just stop.
Don't be coming in here knocking on my door anymore. I just woke up.
Yeah, that's
another level.
His story was just like on a different. I think hit me a different level. That's why I couldn't get to it because it's like, damn, like you just really went there for support and they played him.
All of them.
He got the worst time. He spent the most time in
he was
jail.
16.
Oh my god.
Because he was 16, but like I said earlier, he was so delicate that he didn't even have the mind of a 16. I mean, 16 isn't even old anyway, but it's like the fact that they tried him like an adult is insane. For something, even in the confessional, he couldn't even say what he did. He was like, "This is my first experience.
Yeah.
This is my first." Like, he couldn't even think of the word. He did the same thing. He's like, "My first experience." Like, if you can't even say the word.
They were like, "Listen, we about to beat you up if you do not get this right." And he was like, on it. I don't care if he can't read it out. He was like,
He was like, "I'm about to lie. I'm about to figure it out."
Right. Like, he did it. On some real junk though, like it just broke his story broke my heart the most because they showed how he was just like, "Mom, come back, please visit me more. I will do anything."
Yeah, it was sad.
I think it sucks because they're not the only story where wrongful convictions, right? And then they think they can just throw money like that. 14 years of your life is gone.
And then
they're teenagers.
Their childhood is gonna like. It's different. Like, okay, even if first of all, any time in jail, it's a loss of time. But to lose your childhood, like literally, I lost my childhood. Those are times I can't get back. It's different. Like, if I went to jail from like 30 to 44, right? Like,
and you know that when you look back on your childhood, you feel like it lasted a long time because your brain was developing through those times. So it felt like it lasted longer, as like rather than when you're an adult and it goes by like that. So imagine when they're in prison, they felt like it was way longer than it really was because they were children.
And then on top of that, like it's 2 points. Like one, the prosecutor, I don't think a lot of people know how much power she has. Like a lot of people.
Oh, she frustrated.
Like okay, so
I want to beat her up.
But the detective is like the blonde hair. The prosecutor is the one with the curly hair. The detective, she can bring the case to the prosecutor. It's up to the prosecutor to say we're going to
build the case.
is that the one when she first got there and they were arguing back and forth on who?
No, that was the one. Well, you didn't see the end.
Okay.
That was the one. That was the prosecutor that said she was not taking it.
The one with the dark hair.
Yeah,
okay.
She left.
She said she was not taking
and
it.
like
She
found out about the confession and stuff like
she's the one that the judge was like, "Look, the judge called up and was like, look, somebody confessed to that park rape. Like, this is the case you was like so gun-ho, like was not going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here you
like,
go.
You handle it.
Yes, this is yours.
Right.
So she went in there and handled it. And then the simple fact, she went to the blonde lady, the detective. She went to her and was like, somebody confessed. She's like, oh, it must have been a sixth person. No, his DNA was all over the lady. Like, we took his DNA as a match. Like, he was the only one there. Like, and she's like,
that was another whole case.
We did like, great job. Like,
they were grabbing people off the street.
Off the street.
They were just
that's what I was gonna say. To Kay's point, you're right. with the prosecutor, she literally, so the detective brought her all those holes in the story, and the prosecutor is the one who was like, we have to make this story make sense. Right now, the story doesn't make sense. So that's why their written confessions and their video confessions were so important, because they had to make the story make sense, and Corey was the last person to bring it all together.
And that's
why he got so much time.
The prosecutor told the detective, we need somebody to bring the story back together.
Because right now, all the dots don't connect.
That's when they went and grabbed Corey and was like, come here, like, you want to bring this together.
This is what you need to say.
And the thing that's sad about it is that when they all came into the jail cell and they were like, I snitched on you. Right.
That's what broke my heart so much.
And they were snitching on each other.
So that first scene, so the first scene of the first episode, when they're all in that classroom scene, and she asked him, "Who are you with?" And it was Yusuf. Yusuf was the first one to be identified, and he was like, "Oh, Yusuf so and so," and he looking like, "I don't know what I just did." And you can see his face, like,
yeah, because the detective went up to him and he was like, he just sat down.
He was like, "Oh, that's so and so," and he was like, and he was like, you could see the assurity on his face, like, what the hell did I do?
Like, I just snitched, basically.
What did I just do?
Yeah.
But it like caught him off guard, because it's like, I'm supposed to be in here, so I can't.
And you know, because the one thing, a point that was brought up was, for so long people were taught to tell the cops everything. That was the only reason. That was the only way to say it. Like, instead of knowing your rights and knowing the law, the only thing they were taught was tell them everything.
You see what they did?
Even though you don't know what you're telling, you're not supposed to tell them.
And that's why the father was so quick to be like, I don't know, what did you do? But you know, I got your back. I know you're good. But we're gonna make sure we cooperate so that way nothing happens.
No, he was like, just tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah, the dad, he threatened the dad job.
I know.
The dad went out there to like go talk to him and be like, look, my son didn't do this. He was like, the lady brought like the dad record, basically. It was like a scene where the lady brought him a piece of paper. It was the dad record. So he looked at the record, like, oh, you work at such and such.
Is it a good job?
I see you went, I see you went to jail back in blah, blah, blah. He's like, do your boss know about this? Well, if you don't want your boss to know, I suggest you go in there and talk to your son.
And that's when he flipped out.
Because he knew originally, see, he was trying to cooperate. Then when they did that, he had no choice but to threaten. And he was willing to do anything. He literally disconnected from his son and was like, hung him out to dry. And I couldn't understand what he was doing at first. I'm like, maybe he's trying to help him. No. But then it just shows that he loved him.
And his son, he knew that. Like, the whole, the series, what was his son's name?
Anton?
Anton. Anton knew what his dad did. Like, when the trial was happening and how his dad didn't come to the trial.
Oh, yeah.
So he knew because he was guilty. And then when he came back, he still, like, disconnected himself. And there was one scene that was very proud for his dad got real sick. And he, like, helped him up, and he just started crying.
But he left them. He left them for years.
Well, he left the mom after the son went to jail. And so when the dad came back, the son was like, why are you taking him back, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, we can't all be mad. Like, you know what I mean? He's sick, there's nothing I can do. But, like, when he helped his dad off the floor, he just started crying because he was just so frustrated with his dad. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show, like, your parents don't always know what's right either. So it's like, if you get that kind of frustrating thing where it's like, you don't know what's right to do, sometimes your parents don't know what's right to do. And then what you said about this not being the only case, somebody in the shade room I was on earlier, they were like, oh, well, why are y'all only focusing, why are y'all bringing this up? This is old. But it's like, do you know how many stories that are out there like this? It's so many stories like this that do you think we're not supposed to know about it? Like, we still need to know about the struggle, especially when she put in there Trump's role in the whole thing.
And this is our president.
But this is our president now. So it's more prevalent now.
I was scared.
He had tweeted, like, you know, oh, it was so sad. This just shows that it's flaws in our justice system and all of this stuff. And the light-skinned guy, I forgot his name. The cute one.
Corey Wise. The one everybody talking about, like Zeddy.
No, Corey.
They're like, oh, somebody's like, I don't know if it's too soon. Yeah. But he looked like Zeddy.
No. When they saw, I was like, okay.
They showed a little fresh and jumping stuff, like, oh!
Let me find
you didn't blow it up today.
Exactly.
So he tweeted Trump and was like, I wish you would have said this, like, however many years it was, when you called for our deaths.
For our deaths.
Like,
we need to bring back the death penalty.
Yeah.
He said that. But the Latino guy, what was his name?
It was which one?
The younger one.
I remember because his dad had to get back to work. His dad had to get back to
Raymond. Was it Raymond?
And left to grandma.
Raymond Wayne Jr. So him growing up, his adult, I was like, okay. He's too.
Yeah. Maybe one day I can bring myself to it and actually watch it.
I feel like it's important for people to watch, even in whatever time. Like my boss, she said she could only get through 2 episodes. I had Bae watch. I'm like, you gotta watch it. Yeah. You have to watch it. I said it to my nephew's mom. I'm like, you need to sit my nephew down and watch this. It's just such an important thing. If you know the story, it's okay. I didn't know the story, so it was important. It was important for me to watch. I knew the story.
I heard about it when Trump was being elected, and that came out. Like, all his stuff.
I heard about his other shit in New York, but not about.
I heard that come out when he's like, well, you remember you know what I mean? Like Hillary team was saying, look, he called for the death of like 5 young black boys.
I think people don't understand it because I think everybody expects that every story should be a headline, right? But every story won't be a headline, and so this was like the perfect story to bring everybody. Because you need that perfect story. You need that perfect story. Not every story is worth that story. Right. Every story, of course, should be a headline, but not every story is going to grasp everybody's attention.
Exactly.
This was the story that grasped everybody's attention. Know that this shit is happening, and it's happening more often than you think. It's happening as we speak. Right now, somebody's fucking wrongfully getting fucking accused.
Yeah.
Right. And even in 2019, with all the shit that we have, somebody's still getting wrongfully.
I feel like it showed, like, when they say, like, when they see us, like, when they see us, they hate us. Like, that just showed pure hate for the simple fact you could take 5 young black and brown boys and be like, look, you did this to this white woman, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Like, and that was her whole motive. It was like, you gotta pay.
She didn't care about justice for him.
She did not care.
She just wanted to get 5 black and brown boys locked up. She did not care. She was so stuck on this wilding. It was wild. What does wilding mean?
Yo, I
know she kept saying that.
It was wild.
She said, was y'all out there wilding?
Yes!
Wilding? Was you out there wilding?
And you know that's my word, so I was like, no way!
I instantly thought Asia, like, teach them how to say it right.
But yeah,
if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Take your time. If you can only do 30 minutes at a time, that's totally fine. I understand it's triggering, and I've been respecting people's boundaries as far as them saying, like, I can't watch it. I totally understand that, and I don't want to push it on anybody. If you don't know the story, definitely watch it. If you do, then you pretty much know what's going to happen. But I thought it was important for me because I didn't know what was going to happen, so I was just like,
I was shocked.
Asia shocked from the moment it came out. I was just like, oh no, I gotta finish this.
Because like that just show y'all like how God works, because how can they get into an altercation in jail, like him and the person that really did it, and then he find out like, oh, this is the one that's locked up for murder.
Yep.
When does that happen? And then he confessed to it.
Honestly,
like, when does that happen? Like somebody had to be praying for them.
The messed up part is nobody ever asked him.
Yeah,
that's what the prosecutor said. Like nobody asked.
You didn't even. He would have said, once you're confessing, people who confess, they gonna confess to
because he was already doing life. Yeah.
What else you gonna do to him? He already got life.
He confessed to gouging a pregnant woman's eyes out and raping her.
So you think a rape where he didn't kill nobody is gonna be like a precedent to confess to? Get out of here.
And I think this story just showed how they're wrongly accused, but also showed like the evidence, like the proof. Like you see they did not do it. It's nothing you can say like, well, you don't know if they did it or not. It's nothing you can say. There's no doubt.
There's evidence that
right there that they did not.
So remember her sweater. She had on a white shirt. They showed, because the woman survived, they showed her the sweater. They were like, what color was your shirt? Do you remember putting it on? She said it was white. It was black. So how does all that blood come out and not get on anybody who's supposedly raping this person, supposedly holding this person down? How does no blood get on them? And even the prosecutor was like, they were grabbing over her. Okay, again, how does no blood?
Careful of raping somebody though.
Right.
There was wilding. How was no blood on them? Period. And then they found the semen in a sock, and it didn't belong to any of them. Oh, there's a 6th person. That alone should have negated all of them. That should have been like, well, they shouldn't be charged for the crimes that you have because there's no physical evidence. But at the time, in the late 80s, early 90s, physical evidence wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it wasn't super important as it is now.
This shit actually counts.
Right. The shit that actually counts.
The shit that makes sense.
The shit that implicates you to a crime.
I'm sorry that this happened to all of y'all.
I'm so sorry.
But it definitely, I feel like God allowed this to happen so that we can come to this point where we're understanding, you're shining a light on the police force, and as well as the people who may have already experienced this as well. And therefore, you know, it makes us feel like we want to do something about it. Cancel. Okay? We cancel that. I don't know what her name is, but
Come
she
see
canceled.
me.
Right. I don't know what her name was either. Tammy Roman was like, turn your comments on, sis. I got something to say.
Ooh.
And I totally agree.
Exactly.
She deleted all her social
media.
She should have. You would think she would have been. You knew that the story was coming out. You should have been already ex-nay.
I heard she was negotiating. She was trying to negotiate her the way that they showed her. Whatever, like that. They were like,
no, we showing the truth.
We gonna show all.
We showing the truth.
Whoever directed was like, no, you're freaking trying it.
Like, no, we're about to show the truth.
Right.
Exactly. So
crazy.
You know they're not calling the Central Park 5 anymore. They're the Exonerated 5.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, the Exonerated 5. So shout out to them.
Exonerated 5. Bless y'all. I saw a lot of them had kids. A lot of kids.
You could have 10.
And they all went to Atlanta. Right. You know, what's in Georgia? Like, all y'all like, what's in Georgia?
Enough of them live with their money.
True.
Right. It's cheaper than New York.
Right.
They get a big house.
Their parents was like, I'm over it. We don't need to be here no more.
No more. I wouldn't want to be there either. After the way they treated them, hell no. Hell no.
So crazy. So I was watching something. I was watching The Real. They were talking about struggle love.
Oh, yeah.
The struggle
love. The generation of love.
They're talking about struggle love. Pretty much that ride or die mindset that mainly, I know it could be anybody, but mainly it's women who's supposed to be this ride or die to pull up with whatever bullshit a man's gonna throw at them. And one thing I used to always notate, right? One thing I used to hate about going to weddings is how they would talk about how strong a woman is. And I always equate to that means how much bullshit she put up with. Right. And for a long time, it had always been the measure of a woman's strength is how much bullshit she would take. Right. Why do I gotta be such a strong woman to equate to being a ride or die chick? Why can't I be a strong woman and leave?
Yeah.
No,
but if I don't leave, I'm a weak woman.
It's so crazy because I had a conversation with my ex about like 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me how dope I was for putting up with him. I was like, I was dope before I met you.
Keep that compliment.
Let's get that straight. I wasn't dope I was stupid for putting up with you. I met him when I was 18, and it took me till I was 23 to break up.
You wasn't stupid. You was just naive.
Right. So it was just like, you know, like, I guess I was struggle love because I was like, you know, I'm gonna stick this out. I'm gonna be there for him. I ain't gonna leave him like the rest of, like everybody else and all of this stuff. Whole time I should have been gone. Like,
but when you know better, you do better.
Right.
Definitely. I think that, you know, there are different scenarios for struggle love. You know, like your scenario is like you were being mistreated and you still stayed, or some women like hold on, like acrimony. That's a good example.
Crazy.
She was crazy, but the movie talks about struggle love. It talks about how she was like supporting her dude and trying to uplift him and his dreams.
Use her.
Use her and basically drain her. Like, how much was she, you know, supposed to put up with before she was like, all right, look.
And it didn't work out.
Enough is enough. And it didn't work out. So it's like there's different variations of what struggle love is. I think the whole term ride or die is I feel like it's something that's like pushed upon women.
It definitely is.
Because they capture hearts, emotions and stuff. And
right, so it's like, I need you to ride or die for me. That's what real love is. You're supposed to stay and push through all the bullshit because that's what our mothers or our grandmothers did. They stayed with their man regardless of what they did. And I feel like it's a cop-out. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a cop-out for men to be like, oh, you're supposed to be my ride or die. Put up with my bullshit.
But I think also society portrays love and being in a relationship and being committed is supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's not going to be easy, but I feel like people feel like the harder it is, the better the love is going to be. And it's like, that's such a sick mindset to have. Like, toxic. If it's not hard or if it's not no struggle, like, it ain't love. Like, it's not supposed to be hard. Yeah. It's not supposed to, like, of course we're going to have our complications because we're going to be different people, of course, at the end of the day. But it's not supposed to be that. No one who loves you or cares about you or thinks of you as a person treats you or put you through anything like that.
At the end of the day, if y'all not equals, then you struggling.
Definitely. You should be seen as equals because a lot of things, if we're talking about the male-female relationship, like, men can't take the shit that they give. So it's like, how willing are men to be there for the struggle portion? How ride or die are men about to be for women? Because as soon as we hurt y'all feelings, y'all go.
They don't know what to do.
Y'all don't know what to do, y'all.
They want to kill you.
Bitches ain't shit. They want to kill you.
We don't love you.
Bitch, I will kill you. Like,
you know, men, like, they heartbroken in kindergarten. They like me over. They were like, she broke my red crayon. I hate the color red. Like, bro, you 24 years old. Get over it.
right. You're bored, bro. You're bored.
Get over it. It's done.
Is struggle love putting up with bad sex?
No. First of all, don't ever put up with bad sex.
No.
That's one thing I would never allow. Don't put up with bad sex. You can't put me through bullshit and be not fucking me. Like, no, I'm sorry.
So you want me to deal with your bullshit and then I ain't no good sex? Like, no, you gotta pick one.
But you know the most trash people usually have to say stuff.
Exactly. But that's why they have.
That's why they say.
Yeah, that's why they say.
Look at Kay.
Bruh. You be like, I know what happened after this.
Right. All right. I'll stay. It's okay. I forgive you. But
so what's like the worst sex experience y'all have had?
I don't know about I haven't got a chance to number them. Maybe one day I will sit down and number them from worst to worst.
But when we ask that question, what is the first story that pops? I want to know the first story that pops in your mind.
Have you ever got hit in the butt?
What do you mean? Like
smacked?
Like, you having sex, like, whatever, and the dude accidentally hit you in the butt, like it slips out and then hit you in the butt?
Slaps your butt?
No. The penis hits your butt. Oh.
That's what,
on an accident?
Yes.
No.
That never, okay, that's probably the worst one I've had.
why is that bad though?
So
it hurts.
It was in the butt?
He didn't go. No, he didn't try. It was just like you in the
It was an accident.
and
like
it slips out and it hits you.
Oh, and then he just tried to re-enter?
Yeah, because he thinks he's going back into your vagina. Yes.
Oh, now I understand.
That's probably the worst, probably. Like, when I tell you see stars.
Oh, yeah.
And you and you like, I can't breathe.
Right.
I cannot breathe.
My
This was a boyfriend I was dating when I was younger, and he did it like twice, so he was like banned from missionary position. I'm like, bro, for real?
See, from the back, I can understand.
Yeah,
how do you get back there from missionary?
Hold up.
I need an explanation.
I see from the back.
No, for real.
I can understand the confusion. Because if you're from the back, you can see where you go.
No.
Niggas ain't see.
First of all,
You're right.
You gotta pull it up and
Spread it out.
wait,
We got a whole canvas. I need a crowd.
hold up.
okay, all y'all can get them off set. No, like literally, like you're they between your legs and going boom, 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 and then one part comes out and it goes back in. It's like, no, that's not where it's supposed to go back.
Yeah, I know.
I never had a mission.
I was lightheaded. It's
Oh my.
lightheaded.
So what did you say? Were you just like wrong hole?
I was just like, get off of me. Let me think. Let me breathe. Cause you know how you like, you hit like your funny bone or something,
That's what it felt like?
and it's not funny. And it's not funny, and you know how you like lose your breath for a little bit? That's what it's like.
I got you.
And it's awful.
Oh my god.
That kind of happened to me when I tried. I was trying, and that's what kind of happened. I was like, nah, I'm good off of this for the next 2 years.
Oh my god. So that was your almost first time that it didn't happen?
Straight up. remember, like, it was a car situation.
That's not something you try in a car.
Right.
That's why like the one experience deserves a bed.
Right. And so I'm like, nah, this not about to fit in bed.
Let's rethink this.
No, that's not about the.
That's not.
No.
So then,
the shoe doesn't fit.
No. So then he tried, and I was like, no. He's like, all right. So all of a sudden the strip come out of nowhere. All right, try this one. Try this leg. I'm like, no. It's done. It's over. And then I had to, and then I was like, I'm off of this. I can't do it.
Exit
Yeah,
only.
that was good.
It
was good for how long?
For 10 years.
Oh my god. That is so funny. So my bad sex story is a guy I should have not been having sex with. But we went to go get a condom and he decided to get a Magnum, but it was entirely too big.
No.
Don't tell me he lost it.
No.
It just kept coming off because it was too big.
No. Saggy.
I'm just like, why would you? We literally went to the
Magnum.
so you can
So y'all never lost a condom in your vagina?
No.
That definitely happened to me.
So how did you get it out?
We Googled, so let me tell you.
You had to Google it.
We had to Google how to get the condom out of my vagina.
Like a fish.
Yeah. So like after he busted whatever he pulled out, I'm like, yo, where's the condom? He's like, no, I had it on, it didn't come. I'm like,
y'all
where?
looking around?
We looking around. We look. I'm like,
it's gone.
And I'm like,
it's gone.
the condom's in me.
No.
He's like, are you saying? I'm like, it's nowhere else.
That's
Everyone could be in the car. And I'm like, okay, so they don't need that much space to look for.
Right.
No, that condom's in me.
Yeah.
So we Google on how to get it out, and they were like, put your knees up to your chest, and then push it
out like a baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He had to go in there with his thumb.
But in the car?
Yes, in the car.
My
so I'm
God.
in the back seat with my knees up to my chest, and lo and behold, he pulls out the condom.
But that happened to me.
It was like the claw. You know the claw, you get the prize.
This was
That ain't
so
no
embarrassing, y'all, because it wasn't even a condom. It was like a tampon. Like, I was drunk.
Oh,
and
God, okay, no.
I had to put a tampon on because I knew I was coming on, and it was like a party. So it was like, I didn't want it to come on, like, while I'm at the party.
Are you dancing?
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, shit.
And you lost a tampon?
So, no. So, I got drunk.
She got drunk.
Me and a guy after the party, and then he was like, "Yo, it don't feel right." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh my God!
Yes, I had to go to emergency.
No. How long did it take them to get it?
And then the doctor was like, "Well, why did you have this in? Like, you didn't." It was literally like.
I knew you probably he was trying to get it out.
No, he was pushing it further.
It kept on going further up.
You felt
because he didn't take the pointer finger and the thumb and did it in there. I'm telling you.
Like we didn't know. We were just trying to Google it. So like it was just horrible. Then my other sex is bad.
I didn't even finish my dad's story.
Go ahead, T.
Well, that's pretty much it. It was just bad because it was small and he had a big ass condom on.
Oh goodness.
And he was also
trash.
kind of heavier. And I don't really like heavier guys.
Yeah.
So.
Ew, he was sweating on you? Oh God.
And he had a big. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Wait, what was I about to say? What was about to be big up?
His stomach. It was like big and solid.
That's disgusting. He wasn't just like. What's your other story, Kay?
I didn't know one of you said.
What's your other story, Kay?
So my other story was like this guy was eating me out, and he bit my clit, and it started bleeding. And I was like when he bit it, like it was like a sharp pain went up, and I was like, "What did you just do? What did you just do?"
He was chewing it. He didn't bite it. He chewed
And
it.
he was like, "I'm sorry, did that hurt?" And I looked down, and it's like all this blood. It was almost like I came on my period.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yo, I cussed him out. Like, I was like, you fucking hoe, and you don't know how to eat pussy.
It's like, yo, it's like the song says, it's pussy like bubble yum, but not for real.
Not for real.
They don't know what to do, so now they chewing stuff.
they ain't got no business showing.
We don't have it. We don't know what you like, so we just
Asia.
We just
They just chewing stuff. They don't know.
I think
That was so bad.
I think all of the bad sex stories is why I got like, I was obsessed with masturbating for real. Like after they was
doing it for me.
What? So I
need that like presence. Like I need our energies.
You don't, girl.
I tried. I got all types of toys. Like I tried.
It didn't start for me to like
type of toys.
So I got like the rabbit.
The rabbit, yeah.
And I got like a couple of anal toys.
Oh, so you okay with anal?
No, I was trying to.
Okay.
It was supposed to be like a prep.
I was doing that to myself.
Yeah, it was like supposed to be like a prep to like prep me for it. Then every time I go, I'm like, I can't do it. No.
Like,
Sorry. Go ahead. Nobody said anything. Why did you stop?
Like you put your whole finger in her face.
No, I was doing that because I was going to say something, but then I was changing my mind.
I think the problem is, so one thing I've noticed, I don't know about y'all, but I watch porn when I masturbate.
Sometimes.
So I watch every time. Like I can't go off imagination. Like I literally need something. I need something to put my body into. So like I'm the person that clicks to like page number 12 trying to find the perfect one. Like, no, I seen that one 3 times. Let me tell you, when I first started masturbating, I was obsessed.
Oh.
That should have been a video moment.
You texted us that.
But that's how
type of porn we watch.
Alright, so that's how I knew I like women, because I only will watch girl on girl.
Yeah, I like girl on girl.
Me too.
But a lot of people are like that. Even people who don't actually have sex with the same sex.
It's just more
because they know what they're doing. So you like, well, they go right straight to the point. But yes, I have always watched girl on girl porn. Like even from like the age of like 10, 11, like late night Skinamax. Like I was always going for like
you was the one that had the Nickelodeon.
Hey, that old ass! Like oh shit. I was that person. Like who got
fell asleep with it on?
Our freaking, you know, remember we used to wake up freaking what was the BET?
Uncut. Yeah.
You see that's your ass just shaking everywhere.
So that's why I like porn helps you a little bit more because you don't have to go sit here like, let me think about something. But it gives me something to think about. So then I'm like, I'm good. But I didn't start masturbating until I moved away from home. When I moved away from home and I wasn't like, I was used to like being able to call whoever. And then I was like, dang, like, I don't know these people. I can't call whatever. But once I was able to bring myself to that point and I had to deal with no bullshit, I was unstoppable.
It's just like,
when I tell you I was taking lunch, taking lunch right before I went to work, after work, like I spent stress. Like let me tell you, to a point where I think I gave one of my computers a virus because I was watching so much, and I was scared for them to clean my computer. I'm like, they gonna see all this porn I watch, and like, yo, I was obsessed. Like still obsessed. Like I'm obsessed with it because like. You could bring yourself to that point and then like, okay, I'm going to sleep.
I thought
it's a power situation.
I thought I was bad. So my first experience was when I was 16 and my godmom, she gave me a massage toy. Now I don't think she knows this, but I used it.
You used for actual massage.
Actually, I'm
actual happy ending.
But before that, I used a shower head. You know how the shower head has like different motions. So I would be in that bitch, the shit turned cold. But I masturbate. I'm talking about a teenager. Then it was one point I masturbate every night. Like my friends would come over and my toe would be under my bed, my pillow. They're like, ugh, Thea. I'm like, look, I don't got no man right now. What y'all want me to do?
Yo, y'all never did the whole let the bath water run and put your legs up under the
bath? No.
What? That shit was lit when I was younger. Look, they were like, tell me how to do that.
Right. We're gonna talk about this later.
I need more details. That was my first experience.
That shit was. You put your legs under there?
No, I never did that. But we did have the shower head where I changed from like massaging to like a little bit harder. But that was my first.
That's usually everybody's first masturbation.
Right. In the shower, yeah.
Some water pressure in. You like, oh, I'm just cleaning, but that gotta feel good.
Let me explore that.
Let's go. Some water.
That's why I'm suspicious of people in the jacuzzi. I swear.
Like I'm so close to the gym.
Yeah. Like you over there too long.
Look,
why you face it the other way?
You over there too long.
We over here. You face it that way.
Look, I don't care what nobody say. Like we all have sex.
Right.
Sex is amazing. I don't care what nobody say. Sex is so amazing.
If you're doing it right and not settling for bullshit ass whatever your pleasure is, whether it's dick or vagina or whatever, or head. Don't settle for bullshit. Like, find somebody or you be that person.
Look, women, start telling these men what you want.
Hell yeah.
No.
Start telling these men what you want.
And not even that. Like, a lot of women feel like they go after men just for that reason. And I feel like at the end of the day, like you said, I say that power is good to have that within your own power so that you can have that control to feel like you don't need a man for that.
Not even just that, because people, like, I feel like men was coming at women like, that's our purpose. It's to pleasure them. And that was that stigma for a long time, that's what women thought that they were for. And for a lot of women, like, you know how many women have never had an orgasm?
Bruh.
Never had an orgasm.
To be honest, I didn't have an orgasm till, like, my ex. And I was having sex a lot.
Okay, but I mean, you were still young.
Like, I was having sex a lot.
And why do you think
you
it
were
was?
still
The connection?
young, you were 18 when you started dating him.
Connection.
So that's still young.
Yeah.
That because I really liked him. So I think it was like more of
so
that.
that's I mean, that's reason for you.
But a lot of women are at 40 and never
had one. They're like an orgasm.
To tell these men what you want. Like, I literally had to tell a dude one time, like, after like one experience with him, like 2 experiences with him, I said, we was at dinner, I was like, who you been fucking like this for the past 2 months? I told him, who have you been fucking like this? Like, who have you been fucking like this? You know why your relationship's not working? Because you're fucking like this. Who have you been fucking like this?
Let me life right.
Look, when I got my voice and when it came to like the bedroom, my sex life got so much better. I'm like, no, bro, we're not doing that.
And I think masturbation helps with that. And that's why I will always say, I don't know if y'all watched The Act or whatever, but it was one scene where she was like pleasuring herself. I'm like, yes, girl. Figure it out. Because how are you gonna have a man come in and how are you gonna tell a man how to pleasure you when you don't know how to pleasure yourself? That's just always been my thought process.
True.
And it's a scene on Being Mary Jane. It's like one of the first episodes. Oh my god! It's like one of the first episodes. She literally masturbates before she goes and sees her ex.
Yeah, and that's sad.
I mean, no, it's important because she had a clear mind. She was like, I'm not gonna try to fuck you because I so she was like, let's have a clear conversation because I'm no longer horny.
Like,
I handle my shit.
That's why I say that's power.
That hormonal brain be for real.
Exactly.
You cannot still think when you're horny.
When I'm ovulating.
Yes, man, we have hormonal brain.
I cannot be around like men that I'm attracted to. Like, come on, let's go.